masculine and feminine darlings. This is the Seraphim Gypsy, SeraFae Indigo Empress, and hi baby, Shiloh Horizon. I don't plan to be here for too long, but so, my darlings. Why don't we start here? Hi, baby boy. Happy new moon. Any way the wind blows, something new on the horizon. Third eye blind, something about these karmic people who tried to target light workers they could not see clearly. Yes. And what goes around comes around, so they wanted to play like little clowns, a circus tent, flying monkeys. Manifest your miracle, but we're overcoming these energies regardless. Eye to eye, yeah, it's about seeing very clearly. There's also Don't Give Up on Me by Andy Grammer's playing in the background. It's on Pandora. So, speaking of the moon, it says Cry for the Moon on this card. Somebody's seeing eye to eye means they're on the same page. So I do feel like this is divine masculine with divine feminine. Head in the clouds. I posted about that yesterday. Head in the clouds, feet on the ground. It's a line in Brick by Boring Brick by Paramore. Got your head in the clouds, but your feet on the ground. Wallflower, yeah. So there's an emphasis here on somebody who's been very content just in their own space. But there's nothing wrong with that. But there's also an emphasis of stepping out. Yeah, look. And being your bold, true self. Look at the eyebrows on this. That was a topic from one of these karmic plagiarizers. Yesterday. It's 1:42 here on the clock on the East Coast, AM. I'm up a bit later than I had intended to be. In fact, I had hoped to be finished up an hour or so ago, but I had some other stuff to do to prepare for something that I have penciled in on the books tomorrow, so... just to make sure I was prepared for that. I'm going to organize a couple of extra things, so I'll get plenty of sleep before I need to get up tomorrow. Eat your words, and that is exactly what these karmics are being forced to do. They misjudged us. People who thought that they could target and combat or compete or intimidate, bully. Look, face the music as the music's playing in the background. No place to go, he says. Long way home. Fishbowl, these karmics are caught in a fishbowl, and also they're being forced to face the music. If you have to face the music, it means you have to face the consequences or a reality of a situation. No strings attached, yes, because they tried to bind themselves to others. Yeah, all aboard, riding the coattails of those they were latching onto. Yeah, it's funny, I just got out of the bath too. Well, a bath and then a shower. Turning the light on. In fact, that's a mermaid in the bath, isn't it? Looks like the end. Spill the tea. I'm turning the light back on. Now that's what I've had to do. Who's coming here? It's Alice. Hello. Blessing in disguise. Yeah, see? And it was a blessing in disguise that these people on levels, I'll use myself as an example, thought that they could copy me, compete with me, and what have you, because what they've done is shown people if people are stealing from me, then obviously my work is wildly credible. And the people who were trying to discredit it, well, they're not crap, because some of them were trying to also copy it anyway. And those types of behaviors come from people who would rather trash talk those that they're jealous of, hoping that other people don't pay them any attention. They want the attention that other people are getting, and that's why they're jealous. So, blessing in disguise that these situations came up. Not that they existed. These people shouldn't have been doing these things at all. However, they came up so that the masks could be ripped off. Because what was happening is there was energy vampirism and harvesting. Is that a spider? It almost looks like a spider in the background. Their keys, yeah, see, they can't get through the gateway. They ran out of time. The pressure gauge, the pressure's on, huh? So, in this morning, in the shower this morning, wow, easy does it. Yeah, see, Divine Feminine doesn't have to sweat or stress because there is soul family support network coming through, and they now know what's been happening to her. I heard that. Those really are your natural nails, aren't they? Yes. What do you mean? They are indeed. I've got a little lotion under them right now, but I can tell because you can see through them. Yeah, well, it's because they're real. Somebody says, I don't like that noise. Don't watch my feed. Butterfly effect, yeah. I'd rather have positive vibes here anyway. Good riddance. Unlock your mind. Like, no shade. Maybe this is just isn't, if you've got misophonia or whatever other things you've got, that's your thing, but it's not mine. So, this is just probably not the channel for you, and that's fine. Count your chickens. Yeah. Like, we could be mad that these karmics have been trying to cause combat and target, but really, they've just shown people how strong we are. We stood our own against them. How awesome we are. Obviously, they wouldn't be trying to steal from us otherwise. And how crappy they are because they were trying to steal, and then some of them, while they were trash talking us, they were trying to wear our skin as well. Divine Masculine says discrediting tactic. Yeah. Jealous that people like you, so they think that they can trash talk you and make people not like you, and then they can copy the things that they think people like about you so that people will like them. Yeah, that's what they thought. Didn't work. Now people think they're gross, he says. Because they are. He's any way the wind blows. Yep. It's because they were being frivolous. Like career opportunists. Yeah. If they see an opportunity to do something grimy, then they take it. In fact, you know, I actually just watched a true crime documentary a couple of hours ago. Ooh. It was by that chapter. I've been a fan of that channel for a couple of years, a number of years. And he just put one out yesterday that I watched today, Road Less Traveled. Yeah, see, these karmics try to copy in our footsteps. There was this cult with a Z name. I forget what it's called. Not Zionist. It's something in relation to a person's name that begins with a Z. Zephyr, something like that. And one of their core belief systems is that they, quote unquote, end justified the means. And so they would go about doing things like murdering people because they wanted that person's money, right? If someone was in the cult was being left an inheritance, true story, bro, needs no dragons, the cult leader told them to go murder the person in the family who was going to leave them an inheritance because they wanted it. And so it didn't matter that they were committing crimes or targeting people because they wanted the money. And in their mind, the quote-unquote end justified the means, meaning it was okay to hurt people as long as they got what they wanted out of it, in their mind. And this is also, the cult leader was bragging, proud of sociopathic tendencies as if it was like a form of self-discipline. He was saying something about it as if he was proud, you know, it really takes a lot to be so cold towards people and just be able to do whatever you want towards people. No, if you have the capacity to do that, there's something wrong with you. You know what it takes more self-discipline not to do? Obviously what you did. Maybe you should try it. But this was the belief system. This was the belief system of somebody who probably would register as a sociopath if they got screened, but seemed to know that they were sociopathic because they made statements and claims about it, and how the tendencies of being non-attached, being able to just cut people down, came from a level of like sociopathic cruelty and detachment. And in their mind, again, the end justified the means. And it did not, and it does not. But that's what they were gaslighting and deluding themselves to believe. And then gaslighting and deluding others to believe as well. Unlock your mind. Yeah, no, that's not what that was. That's an entrapment. That's a cult. Did you see in the other card there were keys just hanging in the background behind that person? It's like they were trying to gatekeep the keys. This is somebody who doesn't want people to have any free thought. Brainstorm by You're Stuck Inside of My Brainstorm. Livingston. Unlock your mind. I'm stuck inside of my brainstorm. Good timing with that music. You got jokes, angels. Alexis, no, we're serious. I know. Against the clock. Yeah, I told you their time is run out. They've got no time. It's a separate card. I'm golden. I walked into the room dripping in gold. I walked into the room dripping in gold. Yeah. See, they tried to dodge their karma by projecting everything, their shortcomings, their consequences, the reality of the situation onto, wow, other people because they were third eye blind. They were oblivious. 16:16, and you know what? I saw 6:16 this morning too, and there's 16:22. Anything else? I feel like I need to put this deck away. There's a commercial in the background, I hear it. There's an angry karmic. I hear, could you be so heartless? You want to tell me? I feel you. I love you. Archangel Michael, self-respect, exactly. It takes a lot more discipline and self-respect to be decent. The situation is already resolved. So these people who thought that they could dominate the situation or change the situation or alter fate, force things to go in their favor, that's a no. Also, the romance angels are here helping the counterparts come together, and I have been picking that up. I think I mentioned it in the last reading because was a plagiarizer, copycat energy, sending evil eye towards the lovers, jealous, claiming to be a twin flame, but not. Very promiscuous karmic. Use your imagination and you'll see the answer. New beginnings and a fresh start. This may be also their happy new moon, like I said. You know what? Let me grab that book. This may also be in relation to suddenly having an epiphany, an idea. I heard a download. Maybe it's a medical or health issue. Maybe it's about work or career. There's something about, or could be anything. Could be a problem. Could be an art project. Interesting. I just saw for somebody, maybe it's like writer's block or creative block of some kind. Yeah, my solar plexus is lighting up. I feel people trying to pull from it, though. It's like they've been trying to siphon the energy from light workers while stealing their creative content because the creativity center is the solar plexus, so that makes sense. Also, the self-confidence, yeah, that makes sense too. So, for some people, if it's, say you had writer's block or creativity block, that's being released. Suddenly you just have a light bulb moment, an activation of some kind. Or it might be that you just suddenly know how to resolve a situation, or you know which direction to go, or there's something that will just have faith, talk to God about it, pray about it, but trust that when the time comes, there will be a moment of comprehension. It's just up to you to follow it and listen, that's all. But you are safe. You and your loved ones are safe in these new, fresh starts and beginnings. No, I return that evil eye right back to sender, in fact. Let's see. I think, my darlings, I'm going to cap this reading after this deck right here for tonight. But I will do a bit of energy therapy. I will happily do, oh, no way, a bit of Reiki. This is one of my man crush everydays. Mr. Martin Luther King Jr. I also, I really like Bernie Sanders. So Martin Luther King Jr. he was a badass. He had something called righteous indignation. He had a very valid Spitfire passion for advocating for the defeat of colorism. I'll just put it that way. What a lot of people don't know is that while Martin Luther King stood and spoke the "I Have a Dream" speech live, Bernie Sanders was there and he heard it live. Not only did Bernie Sanders hear the famous Martin Luther King Jr.'s "I Have a Dream" speech live, badass, he has been repeatedly photographed being arrested protesting for Black rights. Bernie Sanders, this cute little white man from, where is it, Vermont? Little cute guy. Bertie Sanders, they call him. We'll get into that in a second. It's one of my favorite things. So cute. Animals know. There are a few photos of him where the police are trying to pull him away, but one of them in particular, he is pulling all of his body weight to the ground. He's got cops, a couple of them, on either side of him, dragging him by the arms, trying to drag him away from this protest, this peaceful protest at that, to arrest him for protesting for Black rights. Or just any colored rights, especially Black rights. And he's dragging his feet, he's making his body go limp, so he's putting all of his body weight to the ground. He's like, if you're gonna take me, you're gonna basically have to carry me out, because I'm not walking out of this peaceful protest where you're trying to block people from stopping racism. You're wrong. And the passion and the fire in this man, I mean, it was admirable. And he used it for the right thing. So I really find that quite a story. And there are photographs to prove it, a bunch of them. He was in the paper, I think, actually. And so this is stand tall, of course. You don't let people push you around, especially with their bogus opinions. Imagine where we'd be today if Martin Luther King believed people when they told him he wasn't shit because his skin had more pigment than other people's. Thank you. We don't do that. Badass. Oh, there's Cry by... Go ahead and ruin someone else's life. It's a song that I posted in the comment section, I think, of one of the videos over the last couple of days. I think it was yesterday, in the plagiarism energy. So as far as Bernie Sanders goes, Donald Trump, old Trumpy, speaking of American flags, he had the grand idea to bring a bald eagle, of all things, into the Oval Office because he wanted pictures of himself with a bald eagle, because it's such an American symbol. Like, wasn't the flag enough for you, dude? You're sitting in the Oval Office. You had to bring a wild animal in there to make yourself feel like a big man. Come on. The animal wasn't having it. It did not like him. And let him know. Full stop. Okay? But when Mr. Bernie Sanders was speaking live at a podium, very much like Martin Luther King used to do. 2522. I heard that beatnik. Mr. Bernie Sanders was at this podium speaking, and he, darlings, he was not even the first to notice it. It was all the people around him. But this beautiful little bird, it looked like a finch maybe, flew up and landed a foot and a half in front of him on the podium, basically sat in his lap, sat on the table he was standing at and speaking from, and trusted him to do it. And I think that said a lot. I think that said everything. So, if you wondered where I stand, I do not like Trump. But I do stand for Bernie Sanders. Hashtag Birdie. I heard that. Archangel Uriel says, hashtag Freebird. Yeah. Robin Williams. Robin Williams and I share I heard about that too. That's right, thank you. We share a Myers-Briggs personality type. He was also an ENFP. There's some reference of Gemini here. Polarity, duality, and then also ripping the mask off of these karmics. And being able to expand and elevate and keep your energy high, still staying in a space of love despite everything that they did. Hold on, what is the song? It's Andy Grammer. I think you should know you saved my life. Never compromise, right? Yeah, you do not make... Birdie! I told you. You do not make yourself smaller to make other people comfortable. Where would we be today if Martin Luther King Jr. had done that? Or Birdie in protest on his behalf. All right, shine and be free. What did Divine Masculine just say? Free bird. Heard. Good call, babe. Steve Irwin, give it your best shot. Call in your soulmate. I told you. There you go. This might be a masculine who likes taking pictures in general, but possibly of his twin. They might both like this sing and dance, play, dance, and sing. They might both be into music, have a passion for artistry of some kind, or a combination of them. They may have multi-talents. There was a reference also last night of, in the plagiarizer copycat video. Let's do some Reiki while I am here still. I won't be here for much longer. There's abundance Reiki coming through, as well as peace and protection Reiki. I heard that. You're very welcome. Hope it helps. Oh, before I forget, let me write this down too. This is the second time. Thank you. So there were some energies I picked up in this reading last night also that are crossing over. One of them is that a karmic female was jealous of the twins, wanting to block them from coming together. Another has been the divine masculine coming up, protective, loving, nurturing, defensive of divine feminine. I also heard, oh, I've been picking up a bunch of things. He wants to take pictures of her and post her on his social media. He might like photography, but or know or have friends or something that do, but there's something about him wanting to post her up on his socials. I specifically picked something up about Instagram though, and something about nails. Like, they both like to take care of themselves, they both like to groom themselves, and so they might have a skincare, self-care routine, a daily routine they like to do together. They might like to go get their hair done together, or massages, or whatever it is. He might like to go with her to get her nails done or something. I mean, like, this seems like a power couple that's best friends. Even if it's just errands and stuff, they just genuinely would prefer to be together, typically speaking. And it's not one of those relationships that the honeymoon period dies. They keep constantly loving each other, learning each other, growing with each other. And so it's constantly fresh. They're constantly putting the effort in. It's a different kind of connection. This type of connection is not as common, for sure, but it does exist. It's just rare, comparatively speaking. Please remember to hydrate. Also, why don't we get some herbology? I'm doing this Reiki, but let's light some sage. And if you would like to get a glass of water or a bottle of water, I will do some Reiki to charge it, and that way you can drink it. And I'm going to put a couple of herbs in mine. This will further boost that. And so basically, the context is that I will take these, just 3 out of the 5 I picked for tonight. I guess we'll use those tomorrow. I don't even know what they are, I just intuitively grabbed them. We'll figure it out tomorrow. I'm not worried about it right this second. We have what we need right now. And we're prepared for tomorrow, so it's fine. Let's see what we have today, though. Clematis, have focus. I'm going to turn this light on. It is going to be pretty bright. Have focus. Be efficient. Elm. And then goodwill towards others. Holly. Well, this is why I came here tonight. I wanted to go to bed earlier, but it's okay. Cheers. Okay. You know what I also heard? Let's just check this really quickly while I let that settle. Okay. Okay. So I heard while I was in the shower earlier, I heard a few, I heard a few things. It was quite comical. I showered again before I came on live. And I heard a karmic male try to call a divine feminine bag lady, and it frankly sounded like he was referencing me. What I was picking up is this must be somebody local in town who, I don't know, stalker who saw me. I had to go do some errands today, and the reason I say that is because I did uncharacteristically, non-typically, have 3 bags on me today. The reason was because one of them had a pillow in it, like a chair pillow specifically, so that if you sit in hard chairs, you can, it's like a cushion for it. And I was going to the office where there's a really hard wooden chair and it's low to the ground and it's hard, and I didn't like it, so I brought something better. I also had my laptop in the bag on my back, and then I had my other bag with my weed in it, my skincare, mints, gum, house keys, right? So essentials. But the laptop doesn't fit in that one, and frankly, I wanted the laptop to be secure within its own space. So again, I had one bag for essentials and my keys, just the normal backpack. I grabbed the laptop bag, and then I had just a cloth reusable, it's kind of like a grocery bag, but 3722. It's a reusable fabric bag, like a tote bag. And I had to look up the term bag lady and what he was referencing. It's an offensive term, or it's meant to be offensive. But it's this homeless lady who carries her her possessions in shopping bags. A woman with no established residence who roams the streets of a city, carrying her possessions in a shopping bag. But I wasn't roaming the streets of a city. I was going from the car in the parking lot to the office next door. It doesn't even make sense. It's just wet and rainy, and I have been physically injured by domestic abuse, and I had a lot of stuff to carry. And so it was easier to carry it in bags. What do you mean? I don't even understand. And I was wearing the same thing I'm wearing now, just a different color. All right, so it's not like, oh, that and a hoodie. But it was a brand new clean hoodie. It was blue with, I think I tossed it in the wash now because I wore it out today, but with white crisp lettering on it. I don't understand, other than the fact that I had 3 bags. Like it just doesn't even make sense. Divine Masculine says that's exactly what he meant by that. And so that means they've been stalking you while you're just going from point A to point B and doing your errands in town. Yeah, that's what it sounded like to me, in fact. So I'm telling you. Bag lady. Oh, so you saw me while I was minding my business, you little creep. And then went to gossip about it. Who does that? So there's that. Heads up. That's the karmic male. And that might also have to do with the Freudian reference, because there's a reference of Freud relating to or influenced by Sigmund Freud and his methods of psychoanalysis, especially with reference to the importance of sexuality in human behavior. So 2 things. I've been breaking down the psychology of these karmic misfits I hear lately, and also outlining their super egos, yep, and then also calling out the issues with promiscuity and the very consistent Jezebel behavior. But the concept of a Freudian slip is when somebody accidentally says something but they mean another, or they accidentally say something that lets you know what's really going on behind the scenes. So in this case, I'm picking up that that would be a reference of a Freudian slip. Because when this karmic male said, "Oh, you bag lady," I didn't know until he said that. I didn't know that while I was minding my business and walking from the car to the office, which was literally a 20-foot walk on the sidewalk or around the side of the building from the parking lot I parked at in front of the building. What do you mean? I was right there, my own home property. I don't understand. Not home property, but office property. It just doesn't even make sense. But when this karmic male came through with the reference of, "Oh, bag lady," it let me know. He thought he was throwing an insult just impulsively, but it was a Freudian slip. It let me know that I was being stalked. It let me know that today, while I happen to have uncharacteristically, that's not a thing I normally do. Usually, if anything, it's maybe 2. If anything, I'll have one for the laptop and then one for my other stuff. But I had 3 today because I brought that pillow, that cushion. I knew I might be there for a bit, and it was cold. So it was just weird. I'm clearly not homeless. I went to the office to get some work done. In fact, I wasn't even gonna do it, but I had some work to do. But and some evidence to document, which I did. I got all of that done. Thank you. That was the other reference. Put that down too. Okay. And then I went straight home. I went into the grocery store for a moment to get a couple of containers of water. Needed some more spring water. That was it. Office, water, home. And so for somebody in that, mind you, this is all in the same 35-foot radius, okay? With the office and the grocery store. And the car. The car was parked in between the 2. The office and the store. $43.22. Yeah, I agree. Divine Masculine says, that's weird. That's weird that they said that. And like, I also just heard maybe they were going to the grocery store. Maybe. But either way, what a weird thing. Yeah, he says also, I agree with that. And 2, if he hadn't come and run his mouth about the fact that he was trying to compare me to a bag, I was very clean. I had just gotten out of the shower, had nice clean clothes on. I mean, I came on screen here. So when I got home, especially since it was so cold out, I took another shower. And to wash the energy of picking up all that stuff while collecting evidence. So yeah, bag lady. Oh, you were watching me, you little creepy. Creep. Freudian slip. And this particular karmic male I'm picking up is a sexual deviant. He's a predator. So even if there was just a grocery store crossover, this is a predatory person. This is a person who will put themselves in locations and vicinities that they think I might be at, hoping to run into me. You know how I know that? Because I've tried it before. Even by means of manufacturing situations. I've even seen people do this in courtrooms. Sometimes if you won't go near somebody, they will file false complaints and charges because they know that if there's a court date, you'll have to show up. And that's the way to get you in a room with them. It's like a toddler. They'd rather have negative attention than none. And toddlers have excuses. If toddlers need attention and affection, then that's what they need, and that's fine. But these people are not, okay? They are adults. And that is not the way to behave. And I'm not saying that they might have some feelings. I'm not saying that they might not have some feelings, rather. But it sounds like something they need to go work out in therapy instead of taking out on other people, for starters. So that's that. To be very clear, I'm not shading therapy or people forgetting it. Therapy's a great thing. When it's used appropriately and actually applied, it can be fantastic. And also when the proper care practitioners and providers are available and crossed over with the patients that they're properly suited for. Not everybody's a right fit or match, just a heads up. So as far as the hellhounds go, this came up yesterday too. I got a flash of this, and these karmics are they didn't want to stop copying, plagiarizing, causing problems, and so they're being dragged to hell. This is the reference. It's like this Patrick Swayze movie Ghost, where he's murdered, I believe, and then I think it's one of the people who murdered him is taken out, and there are these ghosts or these hellhound things, these dark spirits or something that drag him down to hell where he belongs, and he goes kicking and screaming. Patrick Swayze doesn't. He gets this light that opens up and he gets to go to what the concept of heaven would be. But I mentioned this, that these karmics, they did not want to give up, so that now the hellhounds are dragging them back to where they belong. They will not be able to target people anymore. I also picked up a number of things, including death prophecy. Now wait, I know that there was a dog. I learned it today. There was a dog that died just recently, like within the last couple of days. And this was a big dog. And so now I would say these karmics have another hellhound after them. And you know what? This dog did not like karmics when it was alive. So I would say good luck if I knew they had any, but I know they don't. Good riddance. This time he's gonna rip your jugular out. You know how I know that? Because the owners aren't there to keep him taut on a leash. God just let him off the leash. And he's well trained. I heard that. Oh, so God's got tag dogs? It's like the police having canine unit, yeah? Right. Rhetorical question. The answer is yes. At least in this case. Why would you not expect that? Also, you don't think that God is the boss of even the devil? You don't think God is the boss of the devil? If the devil was so powerful, it wouldn't have gotten kicked out of heaven, according to people who believe that it was once in heaven and not only an angel, but God's most favorite. The context is that his name was Lucifer Morningstar, which was said to have been titled because he was the most bright and shining angel, God's most favorite. That's what they claimed. No. Powerless. Powerless. Weak and powerless. The same way that we as empaths look at these narcissists for trying to manipulate people, that's what it's doing to them. That's what the devil's doing to them. They're all just puppets. And they're all weak. And the devil just tries to project its weakness out, hoping that it can, like these narcissists do, create a bunch of yes men, henchmen around it. No. And I'm not gonna let the devil in, no, never. I'm I'm not gonna let the devil win, no, never. If you're feeling worried, that's the devil at work. Swear to God, I'll put him in the dirt. There was also an issue, a technology issue, that for the last year or so, there has just been no solution to fix. And I tried. Just given the situation and the dynamic, there was one, it was technology related, mind you, there was one solution, and there was not the ability to access it or make it happen until a certain time period played out. And there was patience that was required. But that fixed and changed today. Freudian pig lady. Anyway, I think I'm going to drop the mic right there, my darlings. I will be back at some point with some more energy therapy. Actually, no, hold on. Let's do a little bit more before I go. There's closure Reiki coming through. And there's the water charging Reiki. This will help process emotions. There's also an emphasis on listening. It's just about generalized balance, regulation. Also your component Reiki, so this is about making sure all the moving pieces, so to speak, are properly together, put together, able to be placed together, and stay as they need to. Okay, darlings. Namaste. Blessings. Take good care of yourselves. Drink that water. Get some rest. Grand rising wherever you are. I'll see you on the flip side. 5422. Namaste.